Hello, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Dogs in the Draft. My name is Connor Riley, and today we are talking about one of the more dynamic running backs that Georgia has had in recent years, and that would be Kenny McIntosh, a true versatile threat guy that is capable of running through the tackles, but also being a weapon out of the backfield. Mike, you know Kenny better than almost anyone. What is an NFL team potentially getting in this next Georgia running back?
Just a lot of versatility, Connor. I know Kenny didn't run well at the combine, but again, this is a guy who showed home run speed, game speed. Sometimes guys run better with the football in their hands. I think Kenny's one of those guys. I like the cutback ability. I like the vision. I think this is a talented runner. When he needed to carry Georgia football and run physical last year, he did. But I think the unique skill set that he offers is as a receiver. What do you have? 42, 43 catches for the Bulldogs. One of only three players since 2000 in the SEC to have 800 yards rushing and 500 yards receiving and 10 touchdowns. The other two were Dexter McCluster and Percy Harvin. So you've got a guy who can run routes, and I'm not just talking about catching the swing pass or the screen pass out of the backfield. I'm talking about going downfield, making the tough over the shoulder catches, running precise routes. You know, pretty amazing stat on Kenny McIntosh. Didn't drop a pass his entire career in college, and going back through the PFF stats through 2014, that's as far back as they go. No other back has had those number of targets and had that sort of consistency. So I think he's a good character guy. I think he's certainly going to interview well. I think he'll fit into any kind of a running back room. And also don't forget, he returned kicks for a little while, first or second in the nation there as a kick returner before he became too valuable to do that for Georgia. So I think this is a guy that could be a weapon for a team. I wonder about the Ravens in the third round. Todd Monken is there. Monken turned him into his Frankenstein out of the backfield. So I look for Kenny to maybe slip into the second day of the draft and certainly not go any lower than the fourth round.
Yeah, Kenny comes from great bloodlines. He had a brother play in the NFL. He had another play at Washington State. So teams like what they have there in him. Super productive player, especially his senior year at the University of Georgia. But I think if you even go back to earlier stages in his Georgia career, you saw him being a productive player without necessarily being the lead running back. I don't think an NFL team is going to ask him to come in and do that. But with what he can do as a pass catcher, I think that's absolutely something that can help him. He's been compared to DeAndre Swift in terms of his hands and his ability to catch passes out of the backfield. That is absolutely going to make him a player that some team is going to covet. Again, it's a very deep running back class this year, and that might hurt him a little bit. But I think with what he's able to bring in terms of, as you mentioned, Mike, not only as a special teams player, but as a pass catcher coming out of the backfield, I think that's going to help his draft stock even after a less than stellar combine there. So Kenny McIntosh poised to be the next Georgia running back drafted. They've put a bunch of them in the league in recent years, and I think McIntosh is going to be just as capable of making an impact at the next level as some of the other recent ones have been. So for that, our discussion about Kenny McIntosh, my name is Connor Riley, that's Mike Griffith, and this has been an episode of Dogs in the Draft.